flexion and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little easier to handle. All right, let's get ready to go. I'm gonna grab a stool. You don't need this just yet. We'll need it little bit, and I'm just pulling it off to the side. All right. First thing we're gonna do is warm up. What we're gonna do is called hip cars. I just sweeped, and apparently it caused a whole bunch of dust to rise because now I'm coughing. My throat is super itchy. I'm gonna lift the angle of the cameras just a little bit, and hopefully they will be a little bit more centered. All right, there we go. Boom. Let's get into it. We're doing hip cars. Hip cars look a little bit like this. We're bringing the knee up as high as we can, directly in front. Then we're opening up that leg to the side, pointing that knee directly that way. All right. Then we're going to rotate the leg so that the ankle comes up and the knee comes down. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. We're aiming for something like horizontal-ish. All right. Lift using these muscles here in the side of that hip right here. And then we're going to keep on rotating. We're going to bring the knee down. We're going to lift the ankle up. You're going to feel a crazy little contraction in your hamstrings. And when you're feeling like, feel free to stop and bring the leg down and back. All right. So we'll go from here to here. When you bring that leg down and back, I want you to flex the hamstrings. I want you to flex the glutes. I want you to feel the stretch right here in the front. That will be 1 rep. We're doing 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. The goal is to contract your muscles, to push yourself, to pull yourself into each of these positions as deep as you can so you build strength and build control all at the same time. All right, let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 1. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 2. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 3. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 4. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 5. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 6. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 8. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Woo! Take a second. Catch your breath. Do a little shake. Wiggle those hips. Wiggle out that spine. And let's get ready to do the other leg. I don't know where this is coming from. Give me a second. I'm going to grab a supporter. All I did was just sweep a dusty corner of the room. Because the dog fur collects in that corner of the room when the AC is on. And all of a sudden, my throat is all itchy. I think I'm good. All right, let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 1. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 2. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 3. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 4. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 5. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7. Remember, the goal is to lift as high as you can in the front. Open as wide as you can directly to the left or right. Rotate the leg so the ankle comes up. Ooh, feel the stretch cramp in your hamstring. Bring the leg down and back. I think that's 8. Knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew. Lovely. Your hips, your glutes, all these little muscles around the side of your hips are feeling it. And you're feeling good. You're feeling proud. Because those are not easy. All right? We warm up with those, so they might seem like, oh, there's just a warm up. But those are really hard. And part of the reason why they're the warm up is because you force all your muscles to start contracting to wake them up. It's not because they're easy that we do them, is because they are complex that we do them. All right. We're going to move on into the second half of this. We're going to contract our muscles and bring the leg down and back first, right? We're going in reverse. Hamstrings are flexed, glutes are flexed, feeling the stretch right here in the front. We're going to lift that leg up to the side. Boom. All right. From here, knee and heel are about level. We're going to rotate that leg so the knee comes down, the ankle comes up. We're going to rotate the other way. We're going to bring the ankle down, bring the knee up, lift a little higher if you can, and then finally bring that knee to the front. That is 1 rep. We're doing 10 on the left, 10 on the right. Let's begin. I'm going to do a couple more showing you it from this side angle, and then I'll face you so you can mirror me a little bit more easily. All right? So we're going, bringing that leg down and back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, lifting that leg up, feeling the muscle contract right here in the side of your hip. We're rotating, bringing the knee down and the ankle up. Rotating, bringing the ankle down and the knee up. Lifting that knee as high as you can, bring the knee to the front. That's our first rep. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 2. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 3. I'll do the rest facing you. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 4. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 5. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 6. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 7. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 8. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 9. Last one. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 10. Woo! Check out your legs. Relax them. Flop them around. Relax. And catch your breath. Let's finish these off with the final leg. All right? Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Stay strong. Let's do this. Which leg did we just do? Do we do this one back? So we got to do this one. All right. Let's do it. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 1. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 2. Remember, yours does not have to look like mine. Just try your best to rotate as much as possible, all right? When we're bringing the knee forward, we're trying to lift high. We're trying to bring a little bit across the body. When we bring the leg back, we're flexing the hamstrings, we're flexing the glutes. We're trying to lift that leg behind us. When we lift to this side, we want to feel this muscle right here contract. Oh, rotate. Oh, rotate again. Forward. I have absolutely no idea how many of those. Is that 3? Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 4. Back. Side. I did that last one a little too slow. Now my legs are super tired. That's 5. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 6. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 7. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 8. 2 more. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 9. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 10. Oh. All right. That's our first warm-up exercise. Shake it out. Get loose. Relax. And let's get into warm-up exercise number 2. All right. I want you to fold at the hips. I want you to bring your belly button down towards the ground. And I want you to let your upper back, lower back, all of the back relax a little bit. All right. Inhale. Exhale. Let's try to relax and flop a little bit. Cool. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. Knee is bent. Other leg is straight. Folding the belly button down towards the ground as much as we can. All right. From here, we're going to switch the legs from side to side. We're going to keep on switching back and forth the whole time. I want you to feel all sorts of craziness in your hamstrings. And keep going. There's an exact number that we're doing. We're going to do enough for me to tell you about the rest of the show. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility. We started about 10 minutes ago, and we do this every single day to help you and me practice a little bit of consistency. All right? So, if you like hip mobility, you want to move a little bit better, lift your legs a little higher, kick your friends in the face, or kick maybe your enemies in the face, and be able to do that a little bit more easily. That's what hip mobility is for. All right. I can't promise you that we'll be able to do that from this live, but that's what hip mobility is for. So, hip mobility, side splits, a little bit of help working on your consistency. If you're interested in any combination of those 3 things, you only need like 1 of 3, not all 3 of 3 if you don't want to. And you should consider hitting follow, hitting subscribe, checking out the rest of the live, and then coming back tomorrow to suffer some more tomorrow. All right. That's the spiel. That's what we do. Now, hopefully your hamstrings are a little bit loose or a little bit looser, and we're gonna go a little bit harder now. All right, we're gonna bring the belly button down. Fold a little deeper. Fold a little bit deeper. Fold a little bit deeper. And we're gonna switch our legs back and forth. All right. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. 1, 0. Pop into a little bit of a squat. Come on back into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. Hopefully your hamstrings are feeling a little bit looser. We're going to move on into our third warm-up exercise. What we're going to do is fold at the waist. And we're going to get back into the position we were just in. So one leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we're folding down. From here, we're going to take the arm on the bent leg side. We're going to reach across, push off that shin bone to open up our chest. Look at the hand. Inhale. Exhale and rotate. All right. What we're doing when we rotate up, let's start on the other side. This leg is bent, this leg is straight, is we're pushing off that shin to help rotate our chest. All right. Our arms are sticking up into the air. Our neck is rotated to look at that hand, and we're going to inhale, exhale, and reach a little bit further over our shoulder. All right. When I say exhale, I really mean it. When the tension is coming out of your chest, when the air is coming out your lungs, it's going to help you to twist a little deeper. So exhale, be as loud as you need to help you actually exhale, and see if you can reach a little further when you rotate. All right, we have 4 more reps. Let's do this. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up, look at the hand, inhale, exhale, reach. That's 2. Other side, inhale, exhale, reach. That's 2 again. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Woo! All right. Number 5, we're going to cover it from the top. All right. So nobody feels left out. We are folding forward at the hips. We're going to bend one knee, straighten out the other leg. We're going to take the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to that straight leg. We're going to push off that straight leg to help us rotate. I want you to look up at your hand. Inhale. Exhale and reach over your shoulder. That's 5. Other side. Inhale. Exhale and reach. Woo! That is some thoracic rotation. It's designed to help your back loosen up. Do a little gentle rotation. If you're feeling a little looser, do a little dance, do a little shake. Enjoy all that extra looseness and celebrate with some dancing. All right, we're going to move on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. And we're moving into something called the Cossack switch. It looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs a little wider. Then we're going to drop down into a squat on one leg and basically a split on the other leg. Heel is down, toes are up, and knees are pointing up. All right. This is pretty close to what we want the end result to look like. If you are new to the show, your version today might look like this. All right. You might not be able to go any deeper than that without losing control, and that is totally fine. We're just trying to improve where we're at, and wherever you are is a perfect place to be for today. All right. Next. If you're here, great. If you're here, great. Our next step is to move our butts over that away. So if you are able to, come on over to the other side. If you're a little low and you're like, no way, I can't get there, try to use your hands. Give yourself a little support. Walk yourself over to the other side. And once you're there, exhale. Let a whole bunch of air out of your lungs. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. Then inhale. And let's come back across. Oh, other side, exhale. Oh, sink on down. That's 1 rep. We're doing 10 of these, all right? Keep on using as much hand support as you need. Come on across. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Come on back. Exhale, sink a little deeper. That's 2. Keep on going, however it is that you are getting across. If your version looks more like this, that's absolutely okay. I hope you're going because we're going to pretend that was 3, all right? 3. Now, if you're feeling like you're looking for more of a challenge, we're going to do number 4 like this. I want you to remove your hand and keep on going. Come on back. That's 4. If you can, I want you to keep going. That's 5. If this is too much for you, you're like, this is crazy. No hands? Not today. Feel free to keep using your hands. All right? That was 5. If you want to make it harder, you can sit up a little straighter, lift your chest up, lift your head up, stick your arms out, and keep going. That's 6. And that's 7. At this point, if your knees are getting achy, I want you to know about a different variation. All right, just come up a little bit from wherever you are. Come up a little bit, and then slide on across, and then slowly sink on down, and up, and across, and down. I think that's 7, maybe 8, maybe it's 8. Up, across, and down, and up, across, and down. When we come up a little bit, take some pressure off of the knees when you're doing that slidey portion, and you get to sink all the way back down into that deep, squatty, side splitty looking thing anyway. All right. So I think this might be 10. So come on across, come on down, up, across, and down. That is our 4th warm-up exercise. That is our Cossack switch, Cossack slidey thing. All right. Usually I throw in some squats, but today I didn't feel like it, so we just did some slidey things. That is our warm-up, our 4 warm-up exercises. If you don't know, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency so that we can make some progress together. All right. If you like hip mobility, if you like side splits, if you want to work on your consistency, you need a little bit of help with that, we're live every single day and you should keep coming back. All right. Hit follow, hit subscribe, set a calendar invite, set an alarm on your phone, do all those cool things. And I'll see you again real soon. But I'd prefer if you stayed on and finished the rest of the show too. All right. We're going to move on into our first stretch. First thing we're going to do is called the hamstring stretch. All right. We're going to do a variation that looks like this. We're going to get on one knee. We're going to extend one leg in front and we're going to fold forward. All right. So that leg in front, that hamstring is the hamstring that we are stretching. I want you to grab a little padding for your knee. All right. Doesn't have to be fancy gym flooring, whatever material. If you got stuffed animals, stick it under your knee, you're ready to go. You got old flip-flops, old sneakers, stick it under your knee, you're ready to go. If you have a dirty piece of laundry, roll it up, compact it, twist it, whatever, stick it under your knee. As long as you got a little bit of cushioning, a little bit of padding, it will be good. All right, couch cushion, decorative pillow, anything else that you want to use, all perfect. Now, when you have that little bit of cushioning, I want you to kneel up nice and straight and tall and extend one leg out in front. From here, I want you to fold. I want you to bring your belly button down to your thigh. All right, inhale, exhale, fold. Ooh. As soon as you get stuck, you're like, nah, I don't like this. My hamstrings don't like this. That's okay. We're going to inhale. We're going to relax. We're going to let our body flop into that leg. All right? Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Right now, your back should be a little bent. Not because you're trying to smash your face into the ground, but because you're just relaxed. Your neck is chilling. Your upper back is chilling. And we're breathing. All right, let's do it again. Inhale, exhale, relax. Inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into that leg when you flop over it. That's 2. One more. Inhale. Relax. That's 3. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. We're going to bring the knee up. We're going to fold the chest down to that leg. We're going to put our hands down for a little support. Then we're going to straighten out that leg and feel that stretch in the hamstring. All right. We're doing this to practice the skill of folding. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. Keep going. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 4. Again, knee, chest, straighten. That's 5. Hopefully each time you felt a little bit of a hamstring stretch towards the end where you straighten out your leg, because it's time for us to go a little bit deeper. All right. The next thing we're going to do is called the inhale, exhale, fold. We're going to take a big breath in into our lungs. We're going to slowly exhale. And while we exhale, we're going to focus on bringing that belly button down towards the ground. All right. We're going to exhale and fold at the same time. Ready? Let's go. Big breath in, inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Woo! Hopefully, you've sunk a little deeper into your stretch. You're feeling your hamstrings. We're going to breathe. Inhale, relax. Ready? Inhale. Relax. Let your body flop into the ground. Let's do it again. Inhale. Relax. That's 2. Let's go for a third. Inhale. Relax. That is 3. Knee up, chest down, straighten out. 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 Knee up, chest down, chest down, straighten it out. That's 1. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Remember, the goal here is to practice folding, trying to bring the upper body to the thigh so that you get really good at, having this part of your body be super folded, right? Because that's eventually what the end goal looks like when you straighten out the leg and you maintain that position at the end, right? So when you straighten out that leg, I want you to try your best to keep nice and low and nice and compact in that stretched out position. Cool? That's 3. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 4. Last one, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 5. All right. We're going to get a little deeper. You ready? Inhale, exhale, fold. That's the big one. Let's do it. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. Woo. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. Let's do it again. Inhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into the floor. 3rd time. Inhale. Relax. That's 3. Let's bend the leg. Let's do it. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Knee. Chest. Straighten. At this point, you might have noticed that you don't have to bend the knee as high. You can fold your chest a little bit deeper into that leg. If so, amazing. Stop bringing your leg up so high. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 4. Last one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 5. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds, and that's how we're finishing this up, right? 30, 29, 28, 27. Just relax. You don't have to do anything at all. Just breathe in nice and deep and relax. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. Come on out of that position. Bring your knees underneath you. Come back into kneeling and slowly kneel up nice and straight and tall. Or, as close to it as you can get. We're going to switch over to the other leg. Ready? Whew. Other leg out in front. Keep this part of the body nice and straight and tall. Superman pose it a little bit. And let's get ready to fold that belly button down to that thigh. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale, fold. As soon as you get stuck, chill out. Don't worry. We're relaxing. Inhale. Relax. Let your body flop over that leg when you exhale. And we're doing 2 more. Inhale. Relax. That's 2. Keep going. Last one. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. That's 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. Ooh, you might be noticing that one leg feels very different than the other leg did in that first round. That is okay. All right. Your body is used to doing things a certain way. Maybe you always take that first step off your right leg. Maybe you always take that jump shot with like one leg forward. Whatever it is that you're doing, tends to be the case that your left and right side are never going to be perfectly even. By the way, I hope you're still doing the knee bend, chest down, straighten thing, because otherwise you're real behind. That's 5. We're going to fold a little deeper. Inhale, exhale, fold. You all ready? Let's go. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold that belly button down. Woo! Inhale, relax. Let your body drape over that leg. Let's do it again. Inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg. When I say drape, when I say relax, I truly mean it. If you're feeling a whole bunch of pressure in your neck, in your upper back, in your mid back, if you feel like you're trying to smash your face into your knee, into your knee, don't do that. That's the opposite of relaxing. All right. Try your best to actually truly relax. If your back is rounded because you're chilling, fine. If your back is rounding because you're going and you're trying to hurt yourself, that's not good. Don't do that. All right. Inhale, relax one last time. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. We're releasing the tension, not trying to create more tension. All right? What are we doing next? Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 4. Let's go. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 5. We're going to do one more big fold. Let's do it. Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Belly button down. Woo. Inhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Do it again. Inhale, relax. Sink a little deeper. That's 2. Third time's the charm. Inhale, relax. That is 3. Final knee bends. Knee up, chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1 knee. Chest, straighten. That's 2 knee. Chest, straighten. That's 3 knee. Chest, straighten. That's 4 knee. Chest, straighten. That's 5. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds and we'll be done with this hamstring business. All right? 30, 29, 28. If you want to just inhale, relax the whole rest of the 20 something seconds, please go for it. We're just chilling here. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Relax. Bring your heels in underneath you. That is our second hamstring stretch. Whew. Flex your glutes like someone's about to spank you. Go, ah, protect your butt. Flex your abs like someone's about to punch you. Protect, protect your abs. And once you've activated those muscles, they've kicked back in. They're not totally relaxed and super floppy. We're ready to move on into our second stretch. All right, we can get rid of this. I don't know if you can see the little knee sweat stains when I move the pad, but you don't need to see that. That's not important. Let's go. We're going to move on to our second stretch. It's the butterfly stretch, or it's called the tailor's pose in some other places. What I want you to do is bring your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head up against the wall. I want you to grab your feet, bring them in towards your groin area, and we're ready to begin. All right? The butterfly stretch, the tailor's pose, the goal is to stretch out these inner thigh muscles. All right? The way we do that, the way we make it more intense, is by bringing the knees down into the ground. I always want you to get stronger and more mobile at the same time. So I want you to flex your glutes. I want you to flex your outer thighs. I want you to pull your legs down into the ground. And you may begin. If you're new to the show and you're like, what are you talking about? What muscles are those? How do they work? What? Don't worry about the details. Worry about 2 things. 1, you're feeling a more intense stretch in your inner thighs. And 2, your knees sort of went down just the teensiest, littlest bit. As long as those 2 things are happening, you're doing the right thing, and we're ready to continue. We're going to take our hands. We're going to place them on the inside of the knee just a little bit. We're going to push straight down. Breathe on the exhale. See if you can push your legs a little bit deeper. And if you're not feeling a crazy, intense, sharp pain that feels like somebody went and hit you in the leg or something, then you're probably just feeling the discomfort of stretching and you're probably fine. All right. So we're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. Breathe nice and slow on the exhale. Push yourself into a deeper stretch. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. I've been counting real slow. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. If you've been pushing your arms into your legs for that whole time, your wrists might be a little weak and floppy right now, kind of tired. You can give it a gentle little shake, gentle, you know, arm wave sort of thing to help the muscles relax, to reduce some of that tenseness in the wrist. Right? If you start whipping your hands around and shaking them really aggressively, sometimes your wrists might not like that, so be gentle. Do a little dance. Don't go, oh, and start flapping them real hard. At least not right away if you've never done it before. All right? Next, flap the wings of your legs. Flap, 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 flap. Make sure they're moving. Make sure everything is feeling good because we're going to get into a hard third stretch. And we want your legs to be working for that one. All right? So flap, 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 and let's get ready to go. We're moving on into our standing pancake. All right? Our standing pancake in general looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs decently wide. Does not have to be crazy wide, but decently wide. And we're going to fold at the hips. We're going to bring the belly button down towards the ground. Whee! This is our starting position. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. All right. The reason why we get into this position is because gravity is pulling your whole entire upper body down into the ground and it is helping you get into a deeper stretch. If your balance is not so good and you're going to be a little unhappy about being in that position, I recommend you move into a seated pancake. All right. If you're new to the stretch, you're not super flexible, use a taller seat. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can use a lower seat, but the end goal is the same. We're opening up our legs, we're folding forward like so. All right. The reason why I do the standing pancake for all of us is because typically we're going to be less flexible on average. And when we let gravity pull you down from when you're in this standing position, when your upper body is closer to horizontal, is going to be much more effective at the stretch. And now that the dog has officially disappeared and will never visit us, I'm just kidding. We are ready to get into the pancake. All right. If you want, you got a couple of options. You can extend your arms up above your head to get your biceps to your ears, and that will make gravity feel way more intense. Ugh. Next, you can open up your legs a little bit wider, and this will make the inner thighs get a more intense stretch. All right. If you're feeling a little too close to the floor, your face is too close, you're like, this is scary. You can scoot your butt back a little bit, and that's pretty much all the tips we got. All right. Arms up, legs wide. If you want, stick your butt back. If you want, we're folding. We're bringing the belly button down towards the ground. 30 seconds, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. All right. A whole bunch of different ways to make the pancake work for you. All right. If you're standing up perfectly tall and you try to keep a relatively flat back and just fold forward, really far forward, bringing your face towards the ground, bring your belly button down towards the ground, that is a perfect pancake for us. All right. You can bring your legs out a little wider. You can just focus on trying to bring your body close to horizontal when your legs are wide. When your legs are wide, it's going to kind of change up the whole dynamic of things because you're going to be putting extra tension into the legs and not as much into that forward fold. And that might look a little bit different, but our end goal is still the same. So if yours looks a little different from mine, or you're messing around, you're like, I'm still folding forward, but it doesn't look like yours, don't worry about it. All right? As long as you're trying to bring your upper body in between your legs, it's all good at the end of the day. All right? That's our third stretch. We're going to move on into our fourth stretch. I'm pretty sure we did figure four last night, so it's time to suffer in some pigeon, Keisha. We are doing one of either two exercises. You, if you're a regular, can do either the figure four or the pigeon, but I'm going to demonstrate the pigeon right now. We're taking one leg, we're crossing over to the other side. Once it's crossed, we're grabbing that leg, we're bringing it up towards our belly button, like so. Oh, I'm super off balance. And we're going to fold down towards that leg, and we're going to bring the leg up towards that chest, or up towards that belly button. From the side, oh, I'm super off balance. What's going on? From here, you're going to be looking like this, and you're going to feel a stretch here in the outside of your hip. That is a glute muscle. You're going to feel a stretch here in the hamstrings, perhaps, and you might feel something right here where you're actually doing that folding at the hip joint. All right. So we're going to get into this position, but we're going to do it on the floor. Come on down. And ta-da, here we are. From here, what I want you to do is have this leg across your body. This leg over here, not super important. We'll talk about it in a second. But I want you to take this imaginary line right here, down between your eyes, down your nose, down your mouth, down to your belly button, right here, right? And I want you to fold it down to the midpoint between your knee and your ankle, right around here. That's it. Your butt is down, and we're leaning forward. Whee! When you run out of folding, exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. And that's basically how a pigeon goes. All right. There's lots of little things you can do to make it harder, a little more intense. One of them being what you're doing with this other leg. If you want, you can just keep that leg off to the side. Don't worry about it. Cool. You can also, if you prefer, if that one's uncomfortable for you, try to bend the leg a little bit. There's this position called like the 90-90. If you're on fitness YouTube or mobility YouTube or mobility Instagram, mobility TikTok, whatever platform that you're watching mobility training content on, you've probably seen something that looks like this, often called 90-90s. That's basically what we're doing for our pigeon. All right. Finally, if you've done some yoga before, you might have seen a version of the pigeon that looks like this. One leg is across, just like before, but the other leg is going straight back behind you. All right. If you're new to this position, you're going to put a whole bunch of stretch right here in the front of the hip. You're going to put a whole bunch of pressure into the knee. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. If that is the version you would like to do, that you want to work on, I recommend you start by elevating your leg. All right. Assuming you can't do them very comfortably. If you can do them comfortably, ignore everything and just continue doing it. But if you can't do them very comfortably and you really want to do them, if you elevate this front leg, it's going to lift your hips up unless you're insanely flexible, which most of us are not. And it's going to give you way more space for this back leg to extend back behind you so that your knee is not smashing into the ground. So now that you know a more comfortable way of doing this stretch and getting all the benefits without any of the pain, let's get ready to do them. All right? Let's go. Leg across, middle line folded down. Do whatever you want with that other leg. I'm going to pull it back behind me, and we're going to fold our belly buttons down towards the ground. All right? I want you to inhale, exhale, sink into the floor, melt into the floor. You are jello. Inhale, exhale, let out all the air out of your lungs. Sink a little deeper. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Keep breathing. Keep on trying to sink into the floor. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. Whew. Take a second, come on out of it, and switch on over to the other side. All right, just like before, leg is across. We're finding that middle line to that midpoint. Adjust your back leg to do whatever you want to do with it. Remember, extending it back behind you is completely optional. It's totally fine to just stick it off to the side if you want. Cool? We're going to bring our hips as low to the ground as possible, and then we're going to fold. We're going to bring our belly button and our chest down. All right, belly button, chest, belly button, chest, belly button, chest, and keep on sinking into the ground. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26. Feel that stretch in the side of your butt. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Whew. Come on out of that stretch. That is 4 of our 5 stretches. If you have not heard yet, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of side splits and hip mobility training. And we do this every single day to practice a little bit of consistency so that's the suffering that we keep on putting ourselves through helps make a little bit of progress. All right. If you like hip mobility, if you like side splits. If you like the idea of working on consistency, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, set alarm, set a calendar invite, make some time. We're live every single day starting at 9 p.m. and the bulk of the show runs for about an hour. All right, we're moving on to our fifth stretch. It is 3 rounds of side splits. I'm going to take some time to explain it the first time around, and then we're going to go a little faster on the second and third because I want you to make sure you know what we are getting yourself into. All right. First thing I want you to do is grab a little bit of hand support. All right. The goal of the hand support is to help you do this. Let your legs open wide while you put your hands on something to help you stay stable. All right. So I have this little folding stool about 9 inches off the ground. You do not have to have the exact same thing. If you have something a little taller, that will work. If you have a stack of yoga blocks, that will also work. If you want to combine two things, as long as they're lightweight enough and strong enough to hold up your body weight, that will be absolutely fine. All right. Now, I'm going to throw all this stuff out of the way. Hope it doesn't break anything because I'm not looking and I'm trying to look casual, but it's not because this is not a casual thing to just toss. Hope you've had enough time to go grab something that you might be able to use. If you have a coffee table, if you have an ottoman, as long as it's light enough for you to kind of push out of the way when you want to get out of a position, that will also work. All right. But if you get to something like really heavy and uncomfortable, like a couch, if it doesn't slide around or move very easily, it's not going to be as easy to work with. All right. But you can try it and see how it goes. Cool. Next, we're taking our hand support. We're bringing it with us until our butt is touching the wall. All right, the wall is about to be our best friend, and our butt's gonna be resting on it the whole time for support. All right, we're gonna open up our legs. We're gonna get ready to fold. I want you to fold and put your hands on your hand support. Whee! From here, let your legs open up a little bit. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be wide. This isn't the stretch yet. We're just finding a nice comfortable position. Your butt is resting against the wall. Your legs are a little bit wide. They're off the wall. They're slightly in front. And your hands are resting on your hand support. From here, we're going to rotate the legs. Boom. So that the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. The inner thigh is pointing forward. All right? We're going to do the same on the other side. So heels are down, toes are up, knees are up, inner thighs are facing forward. The reason why we have to do this is because part of your thigh bone is going to smash into your hip bone if you don't rotate your leg backwards. When you rotate it backwards, the part that would smash kind of just tucks into your butt, and then you don't have to worry about it. Perfect. All right, from here, we're going to take some time to adjust. We're going to see if you can drop a little closer to the floor, letting your butt rest against the wall, your feet going out, and your hands on your hand support. All right? Your version does not have to look like mine. I only care that you're finding a position that is comfortable enough for you to feel like you're not tipping, you're not about to fall over, it's not so intense that you can't even breathe, just somewhere that you're almost comfortable, right? That you're stable in. The reason why we care about this is because if you feel like you're about to tip over, you feel like you're about to fail, your muscles are going to tense up and they're going to hold the contraction, they're going to fight for you to try and keep you stable. If they're fighting so hard, being super tense to keep you stable, you're not going to be able to relax, and that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to relax into a deeper stretch. All right? So find that comfortable spot, and then we're going to breathe nice and deep and slow and try and sink a little deeper into our stretch. Inhale. Hold that breath for a second. Exhale. On the exhale, see if you can drop a little deeper into your stretch. If you're not going anywhere, don't worry about it. Don't freak out because that's only going to make you more tense. All right? And let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. These next couple of steps are all optional. You don't have to do them, all right? If you want to try, see if you can push your right heel out a little bit. Push your left heel out a little bit. Right heel out a little bit. Left heel out a little bit. If you have wiggled yourself into a position where you cannot feel comfortable, or you feel like you're about to fall, you feel unsafe, adjust. Take a second. Fix your butt situation. Fix your hand situation. Fix your foot situation. Whatever's going on. And we're ready to go. We're hanging out in this position for about 30 seconds. Right now, our toes are pointing up, our knees are pointing up, the top of our head is pointing up, and while our hands are on our hand support, our butt is against the wall. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done. If you can, move your hand support out of the way a little bit. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. That is our first rep. Whew. I told you before we started that we're going to spend a little bit extra time explaining that first go around, but things get a little faster in the second and third round, I promise. All right. For now, come back into standing. We're going to shake out some tension. All right. We've been talking about relaxing. We've been talking about reducing the tension in your body, and now we're going to physically make sure we're loose. All right. I want you to start shaking out your ankle a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to shake super fast or super hard. Just give it a light, gentle flop back and forward and side to side. Hold on to something for balance if you need it for support, and keep on shaking. The reason why we're shaking out the ankles is because if your ankles are flopping all over the place, going crazy right now, the muscles that could be tense, could be holding you back, are not. All right. Next, switch over to the side. Shake, 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 shake. Start nice and gentle. Pick up the intensity as you go. And shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake some more, wiggle some more, flop some more, and whew, we're ready to move on into our hips. Take a couple of quick steps, do a little dance. Boom, pop those hips in. If your legs are feeling generally okay, we're ready to continue. Put all your weight in one leg. Put almost no weight into the other leg. Bring that big toe down into the ground, right? We're going to point this knee directly to the side, and we're going to focus on contracting our glutes to open up that position. And then we're going to focus on contracting the muscles here in the front of the hip to bring our knees together, all right? We're going to open and close and 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 open and close, and work on building a little bit of control, building a little bit of speed, and we're ready to go to the other side. All your weight in one leg, big toe is down, knee in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. Especially for the first couple of reps, focus on maximum range of motion. And then as you get more comfortable, your muscles loosen up a little bit. You can go shake a little faster, in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. And whew, final shake. Shake out your legs, shake out your arms, shake out everything. Whew, we're ready to get into side split number 2. All right. Take your hand support, bring it in front of you. Butt up against the wall. Open up those legs. Fold forward. Whee! Hands on your hand support. Legs are going a little bit wider. Adjust your hand support. Adjust your butt. Adjust your legs. Find a comfortable position to let's rotate them. Heels are down. Toes are up. Knees are up. Inner thighs are facing forward. Other leg. Heels are down. Toes are up. Knees are up. Inner thighs are pointing forward. Hands on your hand support. Butt against the wall for some butt support. And see if you can sink a little deeper. Find a comfortable position. All right? Sink, 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 sink. Come on down. Yours does not have to look like mine. If yours looks like this, it's a perfectly fine place to be. All right? Over time, you will slowly progress. I promise, because that is how it works for me. I've been doing this for a lot of days. All right? Once you're here, we're going to breathe. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, if you're sinking or not sinking, doesn't matter. Don't stress and continue. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. That's 3. Optional wiggles. Wiggle to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Readjust your butt, your hands, your legs if you need to. We are ready to begin side split number 2. All right? Side split number 2. I want you to lean forward a little bit. Set your knees and your toes. Instead of pointing straight up, they're pointing forward at like a 45-ish degree angle. The reason why we're doing this is because it's going to emphasize that inner thigh a little bit more, and that is what we want. All right? You can put your hands on the ground. You can put your hands on your hand support. Everything in between will work. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done. Move your hand support out of the way. Crawl forward a little bit. If you can, bring your knees in underneath you. That is our second stretch. Sit back, relax, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Catch your breath for a second, and then we're going to come into standing. All right? Shake out those ankles once again. Shakety shake, 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 shake some more. Shakety shake, 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 shakety shake. Remember, the goal is relaxation. If your legs are flopping all over the place, your ankles are flopping all over the place, chances are you're a little relaxed. All right? Other side. Shake, 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 shakety shake, shake, shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Woo. And once your legs are feeling about even, you take a couple of steps, do a little shuffle. We're ready to move on into our hips. I want you to put all your weight into one leg, put your big toe of the other leg down, focus on rotating that knee in and out. The only thing that needs to move right now is this thigh bone where it connects into your hip, right? It's coming out, it's coming in, it's coming out, it's coming in, it's coming out, it's coming in, it's in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. And we're going to do the other side. All your weight in one leg, big toe is down. We'll bring the knee in. Try and get these knees to touch. Open it out. Point that knee directly to the left or right, depending on how this video is mirrored for you in whatever platform you're watching this on. And once you've worked on that maximum range of motion, go a little bit faster, shake a little harder, and that is how we're relaxing in between rounds. Shake out your legs one last time. Shake out your arms. Get loose and floppy. And let's get ready for side split number 3. Take your hand support, bring it up to the wall, butt up against the wall, open up those legs. Let's get ready to fold. Whee! Hands on your hand support, legs wide, butt up against the wall. Let's rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. Adjust your hand support, adjust your butt support, and sink on down into your stretch. All right? Breathe, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. That's 2. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. That's 3. Optionals. Right, left, right, left. Tiny, tiny, tiny little push with your heels to see if you get just a tiny bit deeper. Again, optional, optional, optional. You don't have to do them. All right? And we're ready for side split number 3. If you want, you can move your hand support out of the way. You don't have to. You can keep it there. I'm making sure I can demonstrate this. So, do as I say, not as I do. All right? You got option for side split number 1, where your toes are pointing up, your knees are pointing up, the top of your head is pointing up. You got option number 2, where you're leaning forward a little bit. You're feeling more of a stretch in the inner thigh. All right? I'm going to do a version of number 2. Let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. -1, -2, -3. All right, we're done. Walk your hands forward. Slowly come on out of that final stretch. Woo. Bring your knees in underneath you. Woo, woo, woo. That is our third and final side split. All right? Take a second, catch your breath, chill, relax for a second, massage your hips if you need to, and let's get ready to stand and shake it out. Come on back into standing. Let's do 10, 15 seconds on each leg with these shakes. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle. My word wiggle turned into wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Switch if you haven't already, because I forgot to say it aloud. I just started doing it. And when your legs are feeling a little looser, a little more easy to control, able to do stuff, be able to do some little dance moves, we're ready to move on into our hips. All right? All your weight on one leg, big toe is down, knee in and out, and 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 in and out. Other side. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down, in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Whew, whew, shaking everything. One last attempt. Again, loose and floppy and chill. We're ready to wrap up with some joint checks. All right, we're gonna do some hip circles, nice and slow and deep. I want you to really lean into one hip. Oh, sink into that stretch. Ho, ho, ho. Slowly start coming around. Feel that stretch in your glutes. Maybe feel a little in your low back. Feel in the side of your hips. Come on around. Feel in the front of your hips. And oh, come on all the way around. Nice and slow with control so that you feel everything, so that you're not escaping from anything that feels a little tender, feels a little sore. You know what needs a little bit of extra attention, what needs a little bit of extra love. Switch on over back to the other side, or rotate through to the other side. And keep on going. That's 2 and 3. Whew. All right. Shake out your legs. Shake them out, shake them out, shake them out, shake them out. Remember, we just put a whole bunch of tension into our bodies, and now we're going to shake it out, relax, so that you can, I don't know, go to bed later without being all super tense. But mostly so that you can go back to doing whatever else you have to do later. All right? We're going to wrap up with our final round of calf raises. These calf raises are a little bit different. If you were a regular on the show, you know why they're different. But if you're new to the show, they're different because they make a whole bunch of other muscles freak out all at the same time. All right, perfect. We're taking our legs, we're bringing them to about hips width apart. All right, not super wide, not super narrow, about hips width apart. If it's like here, great. If it's here, it's like fine. Up to like here, it's probably good. All right. Next, we're going to drop into a bit of a squat. All right. From the side, I want it to look a little bit like this. I want you to be really leaning forward. Cool. From here, I want you to push your knees forward as well, so that you're feeling this crazy stretch right here down the back of your calf in this Achilles tendon. The Achilles tendon is getting that nice deep stretch. All right. When you're here and you're leaning really far forward like this, and your knees are pushed forward, your toes are going to kick in. They're going to grip the floor. The arch of your foot is going to grip the, like, stay super tense to help you stay stable. That's what we want. Let's do some calf raises. Hands down for support, for balance if you need it. Feel free to hold the wall. Feel free to hold your hand support from earlier if you need it. And knees forward. Feel that stretch in the Achilles tendon. Come on up. We're doing calf raises. Lift those heels. Come on down. That's 1. Keep going. Come on down. Reset. Push those knees forward. Lean forward. Feel that stretch and come on up. Whew, that's 3. Again, reset. 4. Reset. 5. Reset. 6. Reset. 7. Reset. 8. Reset. 9. Reset. 10. All right, that's fine. We're good. What we just did was force our toes to work really hard, force the arch of our foot to work really hard, force our calves into a crazy stretch, then a crazy contraction. Our quads were firing the whole time because we were holding that weird, crazy squat position. Our low back was firing the whole time because we were leaning forward like this the whole time. And then we got our hips, our knees, our ankles, all the little bones in our feet to work. So that is how we get some ultra effective calf raises that make everything get checked all at the same time. That's why it's called a joint check, right? If you're able to do most of those reps, 75, 80% of the instructions, you're probably fine to go back to whatever you have to do for the rest of the day. All right? Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility, checking some joints at the end. I hope you had fun. I hope you're able to relax a little bit now, because we end on a really intense note. But I hope you liked it enough to keep coming back. All right. We do this live every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we started exactly an hour ago. And we run for typically about an hour every single day. All right. The show is very similar every single day. I try to come up with original creative jokes occasionally so that it feels a little bit fresh here and there. You get some fresh giggles, some fresh laughter, but it's consistent to help you stay consistent. All right. If you have a really great plan that you have researched 12 hours over on YouTube for, and you're like, this is how I'm going to do XYZ thing. But after you've tried it for like 2 days, you're like, there's no way I can do this and stick with it. And you feel like that has happened with you before, then it might not be the plan that is going to work for you, right? My big thing, the whole reason this show exists, is all about practicing a little bit of consistency. You don't need the craziest, most effective, ultra fast, whatever plan, whatever person has given you, because most of the time it's going to be a little brutal and you can't follow through on it. So, what you need to focus on is the follow through part. And then once you got the follow through part, you can do anything you want. All right. So, if you need a little help building consistency, remember this show is on every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we're here doing it together, working on our side splits, working on our hip mobility, and hopefully you'll join us, build some skills, fall in love with moving well, see how effective a little bit of exercise can help make you feel better, help make some progress in some of your ranges of motion, and you'll love it so much you'll just fall in love with doing stuff, and then everything else will be magic, and you'll be a fitness person all of a sudden. It'll be great. Amazing. All right. Is there anything else I need to tell you? A lot of the other content I make is about trying to make fitness and movement in general more integrated into your life so that you're not, separating it out as if, oh, okay, I'm going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, however much you're going to go. That's the only place you exercise. I heavily encourage that you add a little bit of movement in throughout your day. It doesn't have to be crazy movement. You don't need to focus on the most hypertrophy and muscle building possible. Movement is good for you for all sorts of other reasons. All right. One is good for your brain. Two is good for your joints. Your joints, they only heal and recover when synovial fluid flushes nutrients in and clears waste. Synovial fluid is not like blood. There is no pump, aka your heart, sending nutrients all over your body for your joints. All right. Your joints only get fresh goodies when you move them. So if you've been babying your joint, you've been sitting all the time, you haven't been moving at all, please add a little bit of movement. A minute of calf raises, a minute of squats, a minute of lunges, waiting for your coffee to be made, waiting for the microwave to heat up your lunch. Anything in those moments will be perfect to start with. Right? 2 minutes is plenty. Just like how our side splits, we were running for 30 seconds. I'm sure you felt like that was plenty. All right. So don't sleep on those 2 minutes and add a little bit of movement into your life. Hopefully, the next time you're, waiting for the microwave to heat up your food, you're about to go doom scroll, you'll have already hit follow, hit subscribe so that you'll doom scroll into my content so I can give you a healthy, gentle reminder of some of the moves you could be doing while you wait for your coffee or your lunch to heat up. Cool? All right. I'm going to look at some comments. Over on YouTube, Jack 在这里 in YouTube is saying, my joints be cracking. That's 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 incredibly normal. If your joints aren't hurting and they're just making a lot of noise, for the most part, that should be okay. When there's pain, that is a sign that there's something wrong, right? But in general, if they're just making a little bit of noise, it's usually okay. Keisha says, my splits have improved. Amazing. I feel the mental aspect is equally important as the consistency. Learning to trust my body and deep breathing helps me go deeper in my stretches. Thank you, Ken. You're so welcome. That's awesome. Keisha, I remember that you were using the crank thing that helps you do splits. Has that helped? Have you been making more progress? I remember like a week after you started using it, you reported in, but I haven't heard about it in a while, so I was wondering how that was going. Queen RR says, "Oh my God, that's awesome, amazing! Thank you for supporting each other. I love it." What else we got? Andy asks, "You showed us toe splay on the floor. Can you show it on camera with the sole to see the actual splay?" Sure. Um, yeah, I guess I'll just hold up my foot. Toe splay. The toes, just like your fingers, right? Your palms can be like this. You can spread your fingers out way far and wide, right? Your toes can do similar-ish things. Will I tell you I have the best toes play? I don't know. I don't really check out toes play very often. But I would recommend that you treat your toes more like you would your fingers, right? Your fingers are dexterous. They can do things. You can move individual fingers. Your toes, they got the capability of doing that too. Your brain has the capability of doing it too. We just haven't trained it to do so. All right. So If you want to do a little bit of toe training, here are a couple of things you can try right away that maybe you'll do in the 2 minutes while you're waiting for your food to heat up, right? Can you see my toes? Yes. All right. Just making sure the stool is not in the way. One of the things you can do right away, maybe I'll show it from the side, is trying to lift your toes off the ground so that only the ball of your feet and the heel of your feet are down. You contract a whole bunch of muscles in the tops of your feet. We're going to contract, we're going to make some fists with our toes, all right? I want you to clench them, right? You probably do a version of this when it's like super cold outside. You're like, oh my God, it's so cold. Ha, ha, ha. And you're, trying to get across the lawn to take out the trash or I don't know, whatever you're doing outside when it's cold. Or maybe you do it when the ground is really hot. You're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And you're jumping around like this, maybe with the sides of your feet instead of having the whole foot touch down. That is making a fist with your toes, all right? And if you get a little bit better at this, you can start differentiating between toes. I can't do that yet, but it's probably also not that important to get that skilled and that technical for most people. But if you can separate your big toe from your other toes, so that you can bring one toe down and all the other toes up, and then do the opposite, bring all your other toes down and bring your big toes up, the big toe helps generate a lot of power, right? When you're pushing off the ground, when you're sprinting, when you are changing directions really fast, your big toe helps a lot. So if you got some time, train that big toe up a little bit, and hopefully you get better at whatever other cool things you care about that has your big toe involved. The toes should be plenty strong for you to do crazy things that you've probably never thought of. Like, for example, you should be able to clench your toes, make fists with them, and then have your toes pull yourself forward. If you're a little heavier, might be a little bit harder, yes, but you can still try it. All right. So toes. All right. What else we got in the comments? Ugh. Scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. Jacques says thanks, Keisha. Keisha is welcoming Jacques. Amazing. Thank you for sending love, Keisha. Appreciate it. Keisha says, let's do this. Side splits gains. Um, Jack says, why does YouTube keep recommending me exercise streams? Hello to you, coach, new here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you ended up finding it, though. Let's see. Let's see. Carlos says, knee is bent, belly button down to the ground, all sorts of craziness. I don't know what is particularly crazy, if you just interpret it as crazy, or if something you thought was not right that I was recommending. But if you're on, let me know. And there is something I want to talk about. I haven't talked about it the last couple of days in the hamstring stretch. The first stretch that we do that we spend forever doing. Your hamstrings basically connect just below your knee and behind your knee, all the way up into the bottom of your hips. All right. So anytime you fold forward, your hamstrings are going to feel it. When your legs are together, you're going to feel your hamstrings. When your legs are apart, you're going to feel your hamstrings. And when we do that hamstring stuff, and I tell you to bend the knee, now bring your chest down, we're working on this fold, right? Bring the chest and the knee together. You might be able to get into this position, but you probably cannot do the exact same position with your leg straightened out. That is because the hamstring is going, I don't like that, right? When you're in this position, sometimes you're going to feel a lot of discomfort in that knee, right? If you need to take some pressure off that knee, to reduce the discomfort in that knee, to take the pain off that knee, you can give that knee a slight bend. That will reduce the intensity of the hamstring stretch, but it will also take some pressure off your knee to make this forward fold a little easier, right? Just like how I demonstrated where most of us are going to be at an angle when the leg is folded, and how we can probably bring our chest much closer to that knee when the leg is bent. There's an in-between state that you're still working on your hamstrings, right? So having your knee bent slightly while you're working on your hamstring stretch is totally fine, all right? When you're trying to get to your ultimate, bestest, craziest, deepest hamstring stretch all the way at the end of the day or the week, the month, whatever, then your leg probably wants to be straight because that is how you would get your maximum hamstring stretch. But if you're just working towards your hamstring flexibility, if your knee is slightly bent, it's not going to be the end of the world. In fact, I recommend it if it takes some pressure off your knee so you actually want to do the stretch. All right? Yeah, that's all I need to cover for the hamstrings. let's take a scroll over at TikTok. Actually, nope, there's a little bit more. Jack says, how do you improve posture? And Andy says, thanks, that was awesome. You're very welcome. All right, Jack, how to improve posture. Okay, so posture is really hard. And the reason why it's really hard is because when you think your posture is bad, typically is because we are doing something like this and we get stuck in that position and then this doesn't look very attractive or something, right? Like that's why you call it bad posture. But reality is it's a very effective posture for how you usually spend your time. Your body has picked up all the signals in your life that you're sending it and is going, look, Ken, that's me, spends a lot of time like this. What is the most efficient, relaxed way to get into this position for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day? How can we make this easier on the body so that Ken can sit here like this for a whole bunch of time? The results is our body gets real good at doing this. All right. And aesthetically, maybe it's not very pleasing, but your body doesn't know that because your body doesn't have an aesthetically pleasing, third party view of yourself. It has the understanding that you're doing this a lot. So how can it make it an effective, efficient position for your body? So you're not working all your muscles super hard trying to contract and lift your chest up and do whatever it is that you think might make your posture look better, right? So the reason why working on your posture is hard is because you're fighting against all the training that you could possibly be doing for your posture all the time, right? If you spend 8 hours a day in this position, doing 10 minutes of the opposite is, really unfair. So the first thing you can start with is probably finding different ways to make your seating situation, whatever is causing your posture to be the way that it is, to be different enough, often enough that you're not stuck in the same position at all times, right? If you are spending less time in the source of your posture unhappiness, then that is immediately going to massively improve your situation without even having to train necessarily. One of the ways that you can try to do that is find a whole bunch of different like heights of desks to work at, sit on the floor, sit on a table, stand up, whatever it is to just shift around a whole bunch. If you keep on moving all the time, your body can't settle into the most convenient, relaxing possible way, and that might help things be a little bit better without you actively going, I'm going to contract my shoulder muscles today. Yeah, yeah. That isn't to say you shouldn't do those things, but what is probably going to be more meaningfully applicable, habit change in your regular life, it's probably going to be the moving around and finding a way to not settle into one position and stay there for a long time, right? For training the muscles, so that they have some natural tone, so they have some natural tension, the same way you would have like big arms, right? That's just natural tension in the bicep, in the abs, whatever other pretty muscles you want to have and what you want to talk about. To have those toned up to be moderately strong, you can train your upper back. You can do the exact opposite of what you're typically doing when you're slouching, right? When you're slouching, typically when your back is rounding, you're leaning forward, all of these upper back muscles are getting really long, getting really stretched, and you're getting into this position, right? This big curve is the muscles getting long. When you do the opposite, when you contract those muscles, when you pull them short, it changes the form, right? And you can absolutely train those things. One of the absolutely most brutalful is actually a great way of combining brutal and beautiful. Brutalful exercises I think exist is called the wall angel. Its whole job is to just make all the muscles that you relax way too much when you're slouching work really hard. All right. And I'll show you what that looks like. You can Google wall angels if you want more specific guidance at another time, but I'm going to show you something right now. All right. If you lean your whole entire upper back or back up against the wall, so low back up until your head up against the wall, and you get your low back to touch the wall so that there's no space underneath you, right? You can bring your feet slightly in front of you to help make that a little bit easier to get into. We're going to elbow our enemies in the face. We're going to lift our elbows, stick them into the wall. All right. This part for some people might be already really hard, but I want you to touch your elbows, touch the back of your arms against the wall as best as you can. All right. And I want you to make sure your low back is still staying against the wall. Right now, you're contracting a whole bunch of muscles in the back along your shoulder blades. All right. That's only part one. There's more. This is a good place to start. To continue, we're going to do something absolutely awful. We're going to rotate our arms. We're going to try to smash our wrists into the air. Imagine you're like one of those kung fu movies where somebody goes, "Whoosh, pa," and then the fist smacks them in the face. That's what we want. We want to go, pa, except we want to do that up against the wall. The enemy is the wall. All right? Going elbow to the wall, wrist to the wall. For most of us, you might be able to get one arm perfectly on the wall, and this other shoulder is going to be like way off, floating wherever it needs to be. But as soon as you start working towards two arms, myself included, it gets absolutely awful. It gets really, 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 really hard. Remember, low back, elbows, wrists. If you have to pick one to not be able to do, let the wrists be the thing that fails. All right, low back, elbows, and then finally try your best with your wrists. And then when you're walking around, you can't just have your muscles be like this, right? You can't be like, this is good posture, and have your muscles cranked ultra hard. You got to be able to actually move. You got to be graceful with your muscles having a little bit more tension. So, what we're going to do to make the wall angels even more painful is we're going to move our arms up and down. All right? Keep on trying to keep your elbows on the wall. Bring them up high as you can. Keep trying to rotate your wrists back. Contract those muscles in your upper back. Bring them down. And up and down and up and down and up and down. Get your shoulder blades working. Contract those muscles. If you could do a couple every once in a while, every time you're feeling like, my posture's bad, that'll probably be a lot. That'll probably be a lot, and that'll be fine to get you started. If you want to turn it into a real regimen or something, feel free to do that. But I don't recommend getting too strict and getting too intense with it, because most of the time, most people quit those things anyway, right? So the more fun you have with it, the more like entertaining you make it for yourself, the more you may go, oh yeah, this does feel great. I love doing these. The easier it's going to be to stay consistent with it. All right. I hope that kind of gets you a little bit of guidance in your posture journey. Cool. All right. Let's take a look at TikTok. Oh, actually, oh, no, we're not. Keisha says, Jack, you'll love the weekend morning back workouts at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Yes, so that move that we just did is a part of the 9 a.m. live that we do on the weekends. On Saturday and Sunday mornings, I have a separate live where we sort of wake up nice and gentle. We do some gentle joint circles. We try to work through every single joint so that you kind of give them some love, give them a little bit of attention, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your knees, your ankles, your wrists, your fingers, and then we do some back and posture stuff so that we strengthen some of those upper back muscles, try to undo some of that stiffness in the spine. We do a couple of body rolls, and hopefully that helps. Jack says, that definitely hurt my back. I've been slouching all these years. That's completely normal. There's a difference between the different types of hurt though, right? So when you have a really intense goal like smashing your elbows into the face of your enemies, aka the wall, and then you're rotating, when you're contracting those muscles really hard and that sort of like muscle pain is awful, that's muscle discomfort. That's more or less okay, right? But if you've got something that feels more serious than muscle discomfort, you might want to get that checked out, because that is way out of my pay grade. All right. All right. And Jack says, Keisha, great. I guess YouTube wants me to exercise. Amazing. I don't know if YouTube knows, but if they did, that's kind of scary, but also great. I'm glad you made it here and found yourself doing some fitness with us. All right. Now, I'm going to take a look at TikTok. Let's see. Ra1212 says, any laying down exercises? I'm lazy. Yes, absolutely. Except the laying down exercises are almost harder than the standing up exercises. So I don't know if you actually want those. All right. In our morning 9 a.m. life that we were just talking about the back and posture stuff in, there's two or three that you can do laying down that are really hard. All right. One of them is called a Superman, and it is actually really good for contracting your back muscles. All right. If you lay down on your stomach like this, breathe, relax, and then you work on lifting your upper body, lifting your back a little bit, bending. You can work yourself into something like a cobra position, right? If you've been doing some yoga. You can also, once you've warmed up those back muscles a little bit, you can use your own back muscles to lift up. All right. You're going to contract the low back. You're going to contract the upper back. You might get a little bit in your shoulders depending on how much you want to pull your arms back. That is up to you. But that's not the only thing you can do while laying down. You can also lift your legs. You can do a little wiggle, find a nice spot for your hips to rest, contract your low back, contract your glutes, contract your hamstrings, lift your legs off the ground, and then you can combine both of those together and you can make it so that everything is off the ground except your abs and then your hips. Oh, that is often called a Superman. All right, Supermans. That's one thing that can help wake up all the muscles in the backside of your body. All right. In addition to that, while laying down, you can bring your heels to your butt. You can work on some glute bridges. All right. The reason why we bring this up is because often when you sit a ton, your glute muscles don't do anything for 8 hours a day. All right, 10 hours a day, however many hours you're sitting for, and eventually you've accidentally trained them to not do anything and they just stop helping you out when it's important to help you out. Oftentimes, there's a version of low back pain where your back is just doing a lot more work because your glutes aren't helping. And your back is not designed to do that work, and that's why it starts getting achier and achier and stiffer because your glutes are not firing. So, the glute bridge, this movement right here, forces you to flex your glutes really hard in conjunction with your low back, in conjunction with your hamstrings. The hamstrings are a little bit less. That's optional. You don't have to hold those as hard. But that helps to coordinate your body to reteach it that the glutes and the low back should work together. What else we got? Oh, from that same position, I'm going to lay back down. You can do some ab work right there. All right. These are all holds for the most. Actually, that's not true. The Superman's was lifting ourselves up. But there is a movement here from this laying down position where if you tuck your knees up towards your chest, typically your low back will flatten out against the floor. That is what we want. So first off, flatten that back. Make sure there's no space for your hands to hide underneath. And then try to extend your legs forward. All right. You're going to get a nice core exercise right away from just this. The longer you hold it, the more intense it will feel. To make this harder, you can extend your legs out further in front of you. Keep that core tight. Keep your low back flush to the ground. If you want to make it harder, you can get into a little contraction. So you bring your chest up a little bit, contract the core even more. If you want to make it harder, you can experiment with your arms. If you want to make it probably as hard as you can extend your arms back behind you and just from laying down, you can get a crazy core workout right here. All right. That is 3 exercises you can do from the floor that will probably be really intense. So hopefully you can try that out. All right. What else we got? It'd be funny. Oh, Ross says thank you. Yes, I do. Oh, amazing. All right. Whew. Bryce says spin facts. Amazing. Thanks for the support, Bryce. Appreciate it. Lois says thanks, Ken. I'm scrolling up, and seeing what we got and the rest of the chat over on TikTok. Keisha says good night. See you all Thursday. See you later, Keisha. Thank you for the support in the chat. Thank you for welcoming Jack. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping support the good vibes. Kat G says, by the way, the other content on his page is really good. Just saying. Ah, thanks. Thank you. Okay. Kat G says, thank you, Ken. Have a good night, everyone. La Lalita says thank you. Bryce says thank you. Yasmin says thanks for you. Book says thanks. See you tomorrow. All right, great. I'm going to scroll back really fast to see if there's anything that I can address for anybody. There's still 73 people on the live on TikTok, so hopefully there's something in here. By the way, if you have sent something in really early in the live and I haven't really looked at it, feel free to send it again and we will take a look. Ebony says this looks advanced. I've been doing some version of this show for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days. When I say hundreds, I really mean like 4, 500 days, more possibly. And a lot of those are recorded live on YouTube, right? So if you want, you can find the YouTube channel. It's the same username as on TikTok. It's at splits on the side. And you can go look back at what the stretches used to look like. We've been doing the same basic 3 or 4 warm-up exercises, the same 5-ish stretches this whole entire time, live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. And over time, because we've been doing it consistently, it's gotten more and more and more and more intense for me because I can fold a little bit more forward and get into deeper stretches than I used to. All right. So if it looks advanced, it is because I've been doing the same basics for a really, 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 really long time. All right. And I try my best to make sure that the instructions stays mostly the same throughout the last like 2 years. And so what I want you to take away from this long, windy answer is it might look advanced. It's just because I've been doing it for a while. All right. All the instructions I try to give is not like, hey, reach to exactly 45 degrees. It's more like, hey, try to reach over your shoulder, breathe, exhale, see if you can reach a little further. Right. The goal is to find yourself deeper into a stretch and to build some confidence, like Keisha said earlier, in moving your body. So hopefully uh, you don't focus too much on what I'm doing. Because, part of the reason why I do this consistency thing is because I want to get the side splits. If you were here for the very last stretch, I can't do the side split yet. I'm training every single day, and it helps me when you guys are here because it gives me extra motivation to show up, to stay consistent, to do the work. And I try my best to keep the energy up to help you guys get excited, to feel good, to do the work as well. And it's a collaborative relationship we got going on over here on the internet. I appreciate it when we all send good vibes to each other, when we're all supportive of each other, because at the end of the day, it is so hard to make progress in anything. It's so hard to stay consistent. There's so many reasons to not be consistent, right? And I do genuinely believe that when it comes to moving your body, when you're building a physical skill, when you're able to do something you weren't able to do before, that's just real life proof you get to bring with you every single day that is the results of you practicing, trying, doing stuff consistently, right? And that's the ultimate reminder that consistency is super powerful. Consistency is super useful. And if you go away from the live with anything at all of any use, it is that find a way to become consistent. We don't have to have the best, most effective, fastest way of doing the thing because if that super effective, fastest way is not a way that you can stay consistent with, it doesn't matter, right? There's almost nothing worth doing that you can get on your first day and then do perfectly on your first day. Almost everything that you care about, everything that you want to be able to do takes a bunch of experience, takes a bunch of practice. And the only way you can get a whole bunch of practice, a whole bunch of experience, and to make it actually useful, because you did them in a way that you actually learned something and then you remember the thing that you learned and you like figured something out and you're able to keep on building on top of it is with consistency, right? So I have no idea how I got here from the comment that says this looks advanced, but I hope that closing thought inspires you to stay consistent and keep on hanging out. If you don't care about the side splits, I totally understand why. I'd have no problem with that, right? Hip mobility is really good for just moving well, getting off the floor a little bit more comfortably. If that's not of interest to you either, then I still recommend that you work on consistency in some way. Does not have to be with us, does not have to be with our show. But that's what the show is about. It's combining 3 things: moving well, getting comfortable, knowing that your body can handle crazy things so that when you want to try other cool stuff, you're like, I got this. I can absolutely handle this. And then 3, getting so good at being consistent because you've started changing all sorts of other things going on in your life, making time specifically for things that you can go apply this exact skill set that you've been building with us right here towards anything else that you care about. Because that is when you turn it into a superpower and do cool things. All right. All right. That's enough rambling. We got another question from Jack over on YouTube. Why does my back hurt when I do the glute bridge? There could be a number of reasons. Where in your back does it hurt when you're doing the glute bridge? There's only one person left on the live, so I don't know if you're still on or if that's somebody else. But if you're on, let me know, and we might be able to find some more information to help target why it might hurt. But without more information, I got no idea. Cool. All right. Let's scroll back down. I'm seeing 14 new messages on the little notification thing. Lule asks anything for knee pain. Potentially. I'll get back to that in just a second. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit further. Shareth says, thanks, Ken. Thank you, Shareth. Do you right above your thanks, Ken? I see a Shareth has joined. Did you join just to say thank you at the end? Because that's awesome. Bryce says, thanks. See ya. Awesome. Thanks, Bryce. See you later. All right. Knee pain. There's this dude who specializes in knee pain and has been doing this for like the greater part of maybe 2 decades, at least a decade. His username is the knees over toes guy. So knees over toes guy. I don't know if he has a TikTok account, but he definitely has YouTube and he definitely has Instagram. And it might be knees over toes guy or the knees over toes guy. I think it's different on either platform because he, I guess, didn't get the same username on both. He has a whole bunch of free content that's really good about strengthening your knee, and you should absolutely check him out because he'll be way more thorough than what I can answer for you in the next couple of minutes anyway. And if you are on the not wanting to spend money side, his YouTube content is fantastic. You can absolutely do and get every piece of information that you need and get plenty of hard enough exercises with just body weight to rebuild your knees. All right. So go ahead and check that out. The Knees Over Toes Guy on Instagram and YouTube. If you just throw it on Google, I'm sure he'll pop up because he's famous. All right. In general, there's a couple of things you can be doing right away. The bread and butter is a movement that moves your knee through its maximum range of motion and helps you build some strength in it so that you get comfortable with it, right? So the main move that knees over toes guy teaches is the ATG split squat. It looks a little bit like this. We're going to elevate the front leg, and then we're going to focus on bringing the knees so far forward that our hamstrings are touching our calves. All right, and the split squat part is this back leg, especially if you elevate the front leg, this back leg is going to extend back behind you. You're going to lean into this position, and then you're going to squat in and out of it. All right, so you're getting this crazy full range of motion strengthening in that knee joint. All right, that is the bread and butter movement. The higher you elevate your leg, the easier it will be to start getting your calves to touch the hamstrings. All right, don't cheat this part. This is the most important part. You want to get as compact here as possible, and then you want to extend out of it to get the whole range of motion. We don't want to strengthen just a little tiny bit of your knee. We want to strengthen the whole thing. Cool. Next. Let me think. There's a couple of cool things that you probably want to get started with right away. One of them is step downs. All right. One of the most common places where people feel knee pain is when they're coming down the stairs, right? This motion where you start to drop your knee forward. And it causes people to avoid the stairs, being super uncomfortable, like fumbling when they first start walking down the stairs, all sorts of things that are not so good for you, especially if you're a little bit older and your balance is already suffering, right? So one of the things that you can do is find different ways of elevating your back leg, stay up nice and straight and tall, and trying to slowly step down and step up. All right. This is especially good if you're a little bit older, if you're already starting to feel the discomfort in your knees when you're going up and down the steps, because this is specifically targeting that weak part of stepping that can really cause some injury if you mess around a little bit. Cool. What else? The other things generally that knees over toes guy talks about is strengthening the musculature and the control around the knee so that the muscles here are supporting your knee. One of the things we already did during our live, and it was the calf raise to calf stretch, calf stretch to calf raise motion. When your knee is bent, you're gonna get a nice calf stretch. And when you come all the way up into standing, into your full calf raise, that's going to strengthen up your whole entire calves in a lot of range of motion, right? You don't have to do it in that way. If you elevate your foot, the front of your foot a little bit, and you come back into a calf raise, that will be really, really good. You can do that with 2 legs at a time. You can eventually level up to 1 leg at a time. And there's 2 versions of the calf raise. One of them is probably the one that you've seen the most, where the leg is basically kept straight and you come up and down. The second one is the one we just talked about, where the knee is bent and you do this up and down. Those were 2 separate calf muscles. There's actually more than like 2 muscles in this general area of your calf, but the 2 main ones are the gastrocnemius and the soleus, and one gets trained when the knee is bent, one gets trained when the knee is not bent, or mostly not bent. And so we gotta do a little bit of both to train those 2 big muscles to support your body. All right. What else? We got this muscle here in the front. I have seen some people say that it's a nonsense exercise, it's not important, but I've tried it myself and I felt like it might have made a difference because I had knee pain in my left knee at one point and now it's feeling a lot better. This movement is called the tibialis raise. All right. You lean your butt up against the wall, maybe your whole back up against the wall. You bring your feet slightly out in front. And what we focus on is lifting the toes towards our knees, like so. The first rep might feel a little bit easy, but I promise if you start getting to like the 10s, the 15s, the 20s, the 25s, it's going to start feeling really, really, really hard. And for a lot of these exercises, I actually do recommend that you start working on much higher numbers, 15, 20, 25 reps. And the reason why I recommend them, and I think Knees Over Toes guy also recommends it, is because these are muscles in your legs. All right. These are muscles that you are strengthening and hopefully are using to take thousands of steps, tens of thousands of steps a day potentially. And if you can't do 25 reps in a harder, intenser situation, then it doesn't really match the thousands of steps that you're taking, right? Like if you only do one really intense rep, it's not that helpful. Your muscles are going to train and then be exhausted for when they need to be doing stuff. Cool. All right. We did tibialis raise. We did calf raises. We did the ATG split squat. Is there something else that I need to cover? Do. I think in general that's a pretty good start. There's one other thing that I have not talked about because I haven't done it in a while, and so I've kind of forgotten about it. But when I first started doing some of the Knees Over Toes guy content, again, it was just the free stuff. Like all I did was watch his YouTube videos, and I was like, "Damn, this stuff is good." And I'm not sponsored. I don't have a link or anything, so I'm saying this because I genuinely believe it. The thing that worked really well, and I have no idea how it works, was walking backwards on a treadmill. All right. I think is because you're doing this motion. You're pulling your leg from behind you to the front, and that forces your knee to do something a little bit unique and interesting. And for whatever reason, I could go into the gym, walk backwards for like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and some achiness in the knee would go away. It wouldn't go away for forever, right? Like it's like a temporary relief, but somehow some magic would happen and my knees would feel better, and then I'd be able to get a whole bunch more exercise. And that was super important for several weeks. And as I built up more strength, as I built up more reps in some of these exercises, the need for it started disappearing. And I also went to different places. I was traveling at the time and I lost access to the treadmill that I was using that had the thing, and I forgot about it. But the recommendation is you angle up a treadmill, maybe maximum angle, 15 degrees for most treadmills, 12, 15 degrees. And because it's at an angle, when you walk backwards, every step that you take, gravity is like slowly pulling you down towards the ground, so you don't have to work as hard. That's the point of the angle. When you turn it off, if it does not flip all the way back to level, if it stays up, you can sort of walk backwards and you're just dragging your foot forward over and over and over again. And that has been absolutely magical. If you watch Knees Over Toes guy, I think he has like an at-home version where you're pulling on something and you're walking backwards. You're like pulling a sled and walking backwards. So the the immediate kid-friendly like version that I can think of is playing tug of war, right? Like you're grabbing the rope and you're pulling back behind. Except I guess when you do tug of war, you're more like sideways. And you go, huh. But that's the idea, right? You're pulling something and walking backwards. You're putting some pressure on the knee, trying to do this motion where you're pushing with resistance from that direction. Um, in my experience, massive, massive, massive help with knee discomfort, just general knee achiness from about a month and a half, 2 months of doing those 4 or 5 movements. And I was doing them 5 times every 2 weeks. So once every other day. It was like Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So on one week it'd be Tuesday, Thursday, other week it'd be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In 2 months, made a whole bunch of progress, and then I basically don't train those movements anymore. Occasionally my knee gets naggy when I start running suddenly and not, doing it in a smart way and just going, I can sprint fast, I'm cool, I'm young, and then I realize I'm not. Then they get a little achy again. But in general, uh, my knees have gotten a lot better, and I don't train them very consciously, thoughtfully in that way anymore, and haven't in a while. And for the most part, they've been very, very okay. So I advise you to go check out the knees over toes guy for a little bit more detail. Cool. All right. Ugh. What else we got? Tarath says yes. Oh, Tarath, you do come in just to say thank you. That's a lot. I I appreciate that you hop on specifically to do that for me. Um, Thank you. By the way, this isn't a message for Tarath, but if you guys are watching the live, you're enjoying it, even if you're not doing the exercises, I'd appreciate it if you give a couple of taps, give a couple of likes, because it helps the reach of the video. I do care more that you are actually doing the exercise. You're benefiting from the exercise that we're doing, from the motivation, from the struggling, the breathing, the balancing, all the other good things that are good for you. But if you happen to be not doing those things, or if you're holding the phone while you're doing them, and you got a quick second while I'm just rambling at you and giving you instructions that you've heard 100 times before, feel free to give a couple of taps, all right? Because that helps the algorithm send whatever signals out to whoever needs to know about the live and come in so we can grow this community a little bit. And I would love to make this my full-time gig. So I need all the help to grow as fast as I can to do that. Cool? All right. Now that I have asked for your help, I'm going to scroll one last time. I'm going to scroll a little further back to see if there's anything else I can address for you guys, and then we'll wrap up. Oh, Jack actually responded and says, lower back to the question, why does my back hurt when I do glute bridge? There is potentially a couple of reasons. All right. When you're doing that glute bridge, if you have rather stiff back, it's already uncomfortable. Ooh, I got a pillow here. When you flex your glutes, if you're pushing your hips way too high, you might be putting a whole bunch of pressure onto your back vertebrae. That might be why your low back hurts. Oh wow, I really don't like that. Alternatively, you might have already a little bit of back funkiness of some sort, and it just doesn't like it when you push your hips up and forward and then you cause your back to bend like that more. All right, so you can try to flex your abs really hard to lock your front of the core in so the back isn't bending as much, and you can see if that might help to support your waist a little bit more and take a little bit less or make the low back work a little bit less or bend a little bit less when you flex your glutes. That might help. Alternatively, if you don't do glute bridges very often, you don't use those low back muscles very often, you might just be experiencing some of the worst soreness to ever exist. And that really depends on what you classify as hurting, right? Sometimes if you're doing a workout that has a lot of low back exercise for the first time in a long time, and then you're doing like one of those like more high intensity, high reps type classes. When you do like 10 reps, you pause for a little bit, and then you do 10 reps, and then you pause a little bit, and your whole back is fired up, and you can't move anymore, and you're like, eh! That oftentimes is just a weak muscle letting you know it does not want to do anymore. So hopefully that helps give you a little bit of guidance. If your low back consistently hurts and it hurts outside of the glute bridge, you're going to have to find someone with a little bit more expertise than me, I think. Because when it gets to the spine, having somebody with some expertise in the spine probably helps. Cool. All right. I think that is all I got in the chat for today. There are still a couple of people on. Oh, wow. There's still 50 people on TikTok. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And there's 2 or 3 left on YouTube. I think we're ready to wrap. So we have been, oh, wow. We've been running for a long time. It's 104 minutes into the live. Okay. We got to wrap up. I got to go do other things. We are. I'm so thankful that you guys are here. Thank you so much for hanging out, working on your side splits, working on your consistency, working on hip mobility with me today. And I hope you enjoyed it enough to keep coming back because we do this every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. We do this every single day to help you build consistency, to make sure I stay consistent. And I hope that that helps you crush whatever cool thing you want to do outside of side splits in the future because you figured out consistency as a skill. Cool. I think that's all I got because I've said all those things a bunch of times already today, and now my brain has lost track of how to wrap up. So I guess I'm just going to say goodbye. Thank you one last time. I'll see you guys real soon. We're live every single day. I hope you hit follow. I hope you hit subscribe. And I hope to see you again real soon, perhaps tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is like 10 hours and 13 minutes from now. No, that's not true. 22 hours and 13 minutes from now? That time. Cool. Jack says, all right, I subscribe to you. Thanks, Coach Ken. You're very welcome, Jack. I'll see you soon. Bye.